I'd like to welcome y'all back to another episode of Beyond the Fear podcast, the place where y'all come for motivation, inspiration, uplifting, and overall positive message. I'm your host, DJ, and today's episode is about a book that I'm reading. And that book is called The Power of Now. And it's a book that I'm struggling with because I know I've talked about it on here before, how I let um the big picture consume me so much. I get so consumed with the big picture that I don't stay focused on the small things, focused on the little steps, focused on, the goal that I need to be focused on right now, the step that I'm taking right now to get to my ultimate goal. And so this book is just trying to show you how to focus on the now, not to hold on to the past, to focus on the past and not to focus on what's going to happen in the future. The only thing that matters, the only thing that exists is now. What's happening now, that's the only thing that exists. And so it's a book that I'm struggling with because I don't know. I won't say I don't know how, but I'm just struggling to not think about the future. Or I'm struggling not to think about the past because I've done it for so long and that's how I know how to operate. And so it's been a struggle kind of reading the pages because it's like, yep, that's me. And yep, that's me. Everything that I'm reading, it's like, yeah, I'm guilty of doing that. I'm guilty of holding on to the past for too long. I'm guilty of not being able to forgive. I'm guilty of not letting go. I'm guilty of the fear of what the future may hold. So, it's not, I'm just so focused on everything else, whether it be something that's happened in the past or what's going to happen in the future, that I let days go by, weeks, months, years go by. I'm not focusing on the right now because I'm so worried about not repeating old mistakes or, what's going to happen in the future. And it just consumes my day. It consumes everything, just consumes me, period. And that's all that I think about is either what has happened already, or what's going to happen. And so it's showing me how to channel all of that, how to catch myself when I'm thinking about the future or when I'm thinking about the past. And it's just like, no, focus on the right now, even if it's something as simple as walking down some steps. Focus on each step, literally focus on each step, focus on your breathing, focus on the things that you see right now, the things that you're feeling right now. So it's helping me to ground myself and center myself in the moment. And it's been, I'm and I say I'm struggling with it, but it's been a pleasant read. It's been something good. It's been something that's allowing me to catch myself. And I literally catch myself 10, 20 times a day. And I know it's probably more times, that I don't catch myself. But, just worrying about things that haven't happened yet or things that have happened. And I just have to kind of catch myself, start breathing, focus on my breathing, feel myself breathing, feel myself wherever I am, whether I'm laying in bed or I'm just sitting down at work or I'm taking something to one of the stores at work, whatever I'm doing. I try to, when I catch myself, I try to get in that moment and, and just, be in that moment. And so it's been good for me. It's definitely helping me to see, number one, how much of a problem that is for me and how often I do it, how often I get caught up in thinking about the future or thinking about the past. And it's so crazy because when I really think about it, I hardly ever focus on the now, like literally focusing on the now, literally focusing on how I'm breathing, focus on, what I'm doing in this very second, this very moment. And I think one of the very few times that I really do that is like when I'm recording, and even then sometimes I know for a fact that I've drifted off and been thinking about something else or something from the past, something that I may have done on a previous podcast that I want to try to stop doing or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And just not really locked in on, what I'm doing now. So that's what I'm trying to do. That's what the book is teaching me. So that's what I'm trying to focus on now. It's just my breathing, focusing on the now, focusing on being in this moment, being present. And it's a challenging thing for me. I can't speak for anybody else, but for me, it's very it's been a very tough challenge to not think about the past or not think about the future because that's all that that's all that I know. You know what I'm saying? It's just focus constantly focusing on what's happened or what's going to happen, and I've rarely made time for what's going on right now. And another thing that the book is helping me with is um not focusing so much on the big picture. And what I mean by that is I'm the type of person, when I see a book, right, I'm focused on the whole book. So as I'm starting to read the first couple of pages, I'm so focused on, man, I still got, let's just say 280 something pages left. And I've only gone through 10, and it's just constantly, and I get disappointed and I get discouraged and I put the book down. And that's been so symbolic of my life. You know what I'm saying? I'm always focused on what I got left ahead, that, it just becomes discouraging to me now. And so it's kind of forcing me in a position where it's like, stop worrying about how much of the book you have left and just focus on the page that you're on. Literally focus on the word that you're reading. And so even that's a struggle. So I'm finding struggling so many things. And I think that, my need for instant gratification, I know that it has like a real strong hold on me. I can see that in something as simple as reading what is, I don't know, it's like 250 pages to the book, 230, I don't know. But in just reading this book, I can see how much instant gratification has taken a hold of me, and me wanting things done instantly, me wanting to read a book in one day, me expecting this to be done. And I know it's my expectations and this instant gratification that has put the instant gratification has put these expectations on me. And so, it's it's been it's been tough trying to deal with the expectations and the dealing with my need for instant gratification. So reading this book is doing so much for me in so many different ways, because it's helping me to focus on the now. It's helping me to realize that, hey, we got to stop. I have to stop with this instant gratification, and I have to stop with the expectations of thinking, okay, I can read this book in 2 days. I can read this book in 3 days, whatever the case may be, and start focusing on, hey, just whatever page I'm on, whatever word I'm on, focus on that. Focus on one word, one page at a time, and until you get to the end. And so it's just showing me a lot about myself. I never knew that my expectations and my need for instant gratification were as bad as they actually are. I would have never known that if I didn't start reading this book, if I didn't start exploring um you know why I do the things that I do, if I didn't start going to therapy, that made me start asking myself, why do I do this? Why is this so important? Why do I get so frustrated when this happens or when this doesn't happen? And so I've just started to learn so much about myself because of therapy and asking the whys, and really trying to figure out, really just trying to figure myself out. And so it's been it's been a tough couple of days, because I even find that sometimes the expectation or the instant gratification has gotten so or gets so bad that I don't even want to pick the book up. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want to pick the book up and start reading, because I know that at some point in the book, right? I don't care if I'm 2 pages in for the day, 3 pages, 10 pages, whatever it is, at some point, I know me, and I know that I'm going to look, at how much I have left. And so the last because I have it at my job, I have it at work. So the last day that I was at work, um I read it, got through probably about 30 pages. And I can honestly say that I only looked once at, how much I had left. And it didn't discourage me. I think that at this point, because I'm more than 2, 3 days into reading the book, that the whole expectation of reading it in 2 days, that's gone, that's been done. So that's over with. I'm just trying to make sure that it doesn't that I don't keep doing it, because I have about 4 books that I have like 4 more books that I want to read after this book. And so I don't want to keep discouraging myself because of my expectations or my thought process going into each book, because they're all around the same size, so they're probably all roughly around 250, 60 pages or whatever. And I don't want to keep falling in the same trap that I constantly put myself in. I'm trying to get better, evolve, learn from, learn from these bad traits that I have, so that way I can stop doing them. I can stop perpetuating them. But that instant gratification, and I mean, and it's so crazy because I'm seeing it in everything now. I'm seeing it in how I drive, and I get frustrated with people. I see it in, just like every single day things that I do. I see it, and I think that the only thing that I don't see the instant gratification or the need to rush the process is in how I deal with my niece and my nephew, because they were here over the weekend, and just in dealing with them, I can see where I have so much more patience with them than I have with anything else in my life. Like I said, driving, reading, working, um, just this new training that I'm trying to do. Like I'm just so I have a spirit of impatience when it comes to a lot of things that's going on in my life. And I want this instant gratification. And I think like the one place, at least that I've seen since I'm starting to open my eyes and really see how I relate to things and how I feel about things and how I adjust to things, one of the few things that I can see where I'm genuinely patient is with my niece and my nephew. I don't know why. That's definitely something that I want to explore and figure out, while I'm in therapy. But that's one of the few things that I can say that I'm very patient on, is dealing with them, because like any kid, like any situation, they have their days when they are just doing entirely too much. But even in those days, and mind you, it probably is because I don't have to. I'm not the one really watching them. So I'm not the one having to deal with them day to day, but my interaction with them is a lot more patient than my interactions with other people. My interactions with just a lot of things in my life. I have way more peace when I'm not patience when when I'm dealing with them and reacting with them, than I do in almost anything else, in my day to day life. And so it's just showing me where I'm falling short in a lot of things when it comes to patience, where I feel like a little more patience and a little more understanding could help me get through a lot of things, could help me to stop struggling with a lot of things. So, there's a lot of things that I want to start doing better with, having more patience with, having more understanding with. But I got to figure out what about dealing with my niece and my nephew brings that patience out of me, brings that understanding out of me, brings that I'm not going to give you that knee jerk reaction that I give to almost every other aspect of my life. I'm not going to do it here. And I want to know what that is so that I can start to harness it in other places and dealing with other people in my life, because I know that everybody deserves that. Everybody deserves that understanding, that quick second of let me just hear what they have to say. Let me see what the situation is before I just give a reaction, or before I just go off. Let me see what's going on. Let me give them patience and understanding to just say, give me your side, or explain what's going on, before just going off because I don't like the look of it, or I don't like the sound of it, or I don't like the way things are moving. It just don't look or feel right. And so now I'm just going to judge it based off of that instead of getting all the facts and getting all the information. And I know that everybody deserves that. And I know that because that's something that, I wish that I had in certain times, that I wish people would have given me a moment to explain, or given me a chance to, show them that it isn't, what you think it is. Just hear me out for a second. And so I want to know what it is that makes me do that with my niece and my nephew, but it doesn't allow me, but I'm not allowing myself to do it in any other space. Something as simple as reading a book. I get so impatient that I put the book down and don't want to read the book for several days. And then eventually I just don't want to read the book at all. That's just been my pattern of just quitting on things and quitting on myself because I've been so impatient and I've been wanting that instant gratification. And so, I'm definitely ready for my next therapy session because I feel like I've learned a lot, discovered a lot about myself, but I don't know what to do with it. I don't know how to channel it. I don't know how to focus it so that I can point it in other aspects and other directions in my life. So, I'm just really excited about talking to my therapist in a couple of weeks, so that way we can, so she can kind of help guide me. We can talk about the things that I've discovered, and she can kind of help guide me to what I need to do, because I have, like, how can I put it? I know that there's an answer that I found. Like, I know the answer is like, this instant gratification is killing me, or it's destroying my desire, it's destroying my ambition, it's destroying my drive, my hunger, um, my motivation, and all of that. But how do I take this information that I have of knowing that it's this instant gratification, and how do I turn it into a positive? Like, how do I use this to start to push forward, to take those next steps, to not give up, to not take a step back, or to drop down on one knee and just give up, what I'm saying? So it's just like, I know that I have a vague sense of the answer. I just need help of understanding what it is that I'm seeing, because I'm seeing the picture in my head, but I'm not knowing exactly what I'm seeing. I don't really know how to decipher it. And so for me, I'm just excited about where I'm going in life, because again, I'm just seeing so many things pop up in my life, and it's helping me to catch myself. It's helping me to do better. It's helping me to see the so many flaws in my personality, so many flaws in the way that I think, in the way I view things, in the way that I react to things. And so, I just have to keep putting all the pieces to the puzzle together. I'm just, each piece that I'm learning about myself is helping me to complete the picture of who I am. So that way I know I can start to figure out what I need to do to get to where I want to be, and get to and become the person that I want to be. It's just hard, because again, I get so focused on the big picture that I just don't focus on the steps that I need to take. And so I think that this book that I'm reading now, The Power of Now, it's the book that I need. It was the right book at the right time. Now, whether it's the best book of explaining how to focus on the now, I couldn't say, but it's what I need. I know, I'm pretty sure, y'all out there listening may know of a better book, to help explain or help break down how you can start to focus better on, the present, and being more present minded. But it's definitely what I needed in this moment to try to help me focus on the right now, focus on the things that I need to pay attention to right now, and quit letting the present pass me by, because I'm too busy looking, in the past, or the future. Both sides got such a strong hold on me, because, you just become a prisoner to your past, because you don't know. I didn't know how to deal with the things that I was going through. I didn't know how to deal with my struggles. I didn't know how to deal with my frustrations. I didn't know how to talk and communicate with anybody about the things. that I was going through, I just knew how to put on a brave face, smile, crack jokes, laugh, make you feel like there's nothing going wrong with me, and just keep it moving. That's really just how I operated in life. And I think that now that I'm in my 30s, that all this baggage that I've been carrying and this weight is just it finally got to this point where where I'm at my limit and I can't take it anymore. I couldn't continue on, with all of that holding me down. And so I'm trying to pick up all of these pieces, finally, now that I finally just put everything down, I let it go. And now I'm trying to pick up the pieces that I need and leave the pieces that I don't need behind. And I know that that's the hardest part of this process that I'm going through now, is knowing which pieces to leave behind, and number two, being okay with leaving those behind. And that's been very hard for me, is once I recognize a piece that needs to be left behind, because I've carried it for so long, it feels like I've become one with it. I've become one with my pain and my trauma and my past experiences, that's what I identify as, and so now that I'm identifying that these are things that I felt like subconsciously have identified me, I've identified with them, to now have to start letting those things go and being done with them and leaving those things in the past, just leaving them, where I dropped them. It's been hard, because again, I just feel like, you deal with it for so long that it's just like it becomes you. So it feels like you're leaving you behind, but it's like I have to keep reminding myself, because it's easy to say you're not your pain, you're not your trauma, you're not your past. And it's all true. I just want to make sure I say that it's all true. It's hard, but it's hard to not feel that way, because for the longest time you felt like it was. I've been attached to my pain. I've been attached to my comfort zone. I've been attached to my trauma. So even though mentally I know that these things aren't me, these things don't define me, these things aren't who I am, emotionally, it's hard to separate it. Because like I said, mentally I can separate it, but emotionally it's so hard, because it's been who I am. I can honestly say, that my comfort zone has defined the way I've lived my life for, at the very least, all throughout high school up till now. I can confidently say that my comfort zone is what guided me through life. Anything that made me uncomfortable, anything that made me uneasy, anything that made me feel like I'm working too hard or I'm having to try too hard, it's not naturally coming to me, then I just believed it wasn't for me. It wasn't meant for me. Uh, it's not mine to have, and all of this stuff, that it just literally guided me. And so now to try to live life day to day and constantly be comfortable with being uncomfortable, and constantly trying to be comfortable with stepping outside your comfort zone, man, it shatters what your world used to be. And so it's like you're rediscovering the world for the first time. Well, feels like I'm discovering the world for the first time as a 35-year-old man. And it's just, at times it can be overwhelming, but I know that it's worth it. I do. I just have to quit focusing on the big picture, because for me, it's like you be waiting on that big, well, I be waiting on that big, aha, I finally get it. I get it now moment, that doing, I'm not taking the steps. I'm missing so many steps, because I'm just looking up, waiting for that big, oh, okay, that aha, I get it now moment, that what I'm saying? I'm missing so many steps. I'm missing so many little things that can help me get to that point. And so, when I and it's definitely frustrating now when I catch myself, just constantly drifting off. But all I can do is just, understand that I didn't know what I didn't know. And now that I know better, I got to do better. So I'm just constantly catching myself. Hey, I, got to leave that in the past. I'm not there anymore. or I can't worry about that right now. I gotta get this. I gotta work on this. I gotta focus on this. And so, man, when I tell you that that's just my life right now is literally just trying to pay attention to everything that's going on with me and what I have going on, and just trying to stay in the now, stay in the present, and trying to let go of whatever shackles the past and the future, are still have a hold of me, and trying to let go of the need for instant gratification and the need for what's the word I'm looking for? Instant gratification, and I can't think of the word, but just trying to let go of all of these things so that I can just focus on the now, focus on the step that I'm taking now, the breath that I'm taking now, the view that I'm taking in now, whatever I'm feeling physically and emotionally, whatever's going on right now in the present. I'm doing my best to try to recenter and refocus on that. And it's been a good exercise for me. It's been good therapy, good meditation for me. I got a few good meditation tips from the book. And so I'm trying to focus in and lock in on those things and get to where I need to be, because I know that I can do I can do better, I can be better, I can achieve the things that I want to achieve. I also know that I have to let go of 30 years of bad habits that I've developed. And I know that it won't be easy, but I also know that I can't give up just because I have setbacks, and I know that the setbacks are going to happen, because I know that I'm a creature of habit. I am a strong creature of habit. And when things don't go well, my natural instinct is for me to go back to my comfort zone. My natural instinct is for me to go back into my shell. And so that's just a bad habit that I've created for myself over the past, like I said, 20, 25, 30 years. And so I'm fighting. I know that it's going to be a big uphill battle, but I know that it's a battle that I can do. And I also understand the importance of not trying to do it alone, to reaching out to my therapist and talking to the people around me who know me best, and just telling them everything that's going on with me, so that, you know, sometimes I just need that encouraging word and that pickup. And, I didn't always understand the value of it, of just having an encouraging word, of just having someone, believing in you and saying that you can do it, because I didn't always have it. So I didn't understand the power of it for myself. I understood that, as crazy as this sounds, I understood the power of me doing it for other people, but I didn't realize the power that it would have, or the effect that it would have on me, because I just didn't have it. And it's not because I didn't have good people around me. It's just because I did so well with deceiving people into thinking that I'm okay, I'm doing well, nothing's wrong. I'm always I'm hardly ever too high. I'm hardly ever too low. I'm always in a consistent area. So it's just like, okay, DJ just being his normal self. So it's hard to say he going through tough times, because he's never too emotional, and he's never too just non-emotional. He's just right there in a nice consistent level. And so, you know, I never really had anybody to really just kind of poke and prod me, to be like, "No, you really good, bro. You really, like, what's really going on? I can tell something's going on." So I never knew the power of those encouraging words, because I never allowed myself to be in a situation where I would even let somebody get in enough to see what's going on. But now that I've started to allow people in, I see the value of those encouraging words. So I understand that, this uphill battle that I have for myself to get to where I want to be, I don't have to do it alone, and I can't do it alone. And I think that was another thing that burdened me, is just assuming that I had to do everything, I had to do it myself, that nobody could help me, nobody could do it for me. And they can't do it for me, but they can help me. They can give me strength on the days when, I may not have enough to get through the day. They may be able to give me that push when I'm tired. They may be able to, pick me up when I fall. So there are things that they can do to help me on my journey. They don't have to do the work for me. They can just help me along in times when I need help. And so that's definitely something that I've learned over the past couple of months, is just the importance of having people around you and understanding that you don't have to do everything by yourself. But man, just to sum up everything that we talked about today, is just make sure you're focusing on the now. Quit allowing the past and the future to have so much of a stranglehold on your attention. When you feel yourself focusing too much on your past, whether that be a mistake, a situation that just happened, something that hurt you, a past trauma, a past pain, or something in the future you're trying to avoid, or, you so locked in or so focused on, trying to worry about what's going to happen that you can't focus on what's happening right now. And you catch yourself doing that, man, just breathe, focus on your breath, take a deep breath in, let it out, and just continue to do that. Like, just focus on nothing but your breath, even if you have to close your eyes for a quick second and just focus on your breath, focus on, your surrounding, what's around you right now. Just do those little things that can help you become present minded, to where you're not focusing on the past, you're not focusing on the present, you're just focused on, right here, right now, what you're going through in this very moment. And it's important to figure out what's stopping you, or what's making it so hard for you to focus on the right now, and then just start working on those things little by little, and understanding that you don't have to do everything by yourself. Reach out to people who may be going through things that you go through. Ask your friends. They may have gone through things that you're going through now, and can help you with that. But just realize that you don't have to do everything by yourself. It's so important to ask for help when you need it, and understand that everything doesn't have to be done by you. But we got to start focusing on the now. Quit letting the present pass us by, because we're just so focused on the past or the future that we're not taking the time to just enjoy right now, to enjoy what is. We were so focused on what was or what will be, but all that matters is what is. And so, man, that's my message for today, is just start focusing on the right now. Start focusing on what is, what's going on right now, what's happening right now at this very moment, this very second. But I want to thank everybody for listening on whatever platforms y'all are listening on. I appreciate it. And to everybody watching on YouTube, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And man, I hope that y'all have a blessed day.